Greetings to all you out there on the interwebs. I am Senor Carlos Blanco El Barbero. I am the Pen and Herald for the Kingdom of Meridies, and this is our July Heraldic Decision meeting. With me tonight again are my lovely cohorts in the Heraldic world, and if they would give themselves some introductions, please.
Hello, I am Antonio de Navarra. I am Principal Herald of the Kingdom of Meridies, Beacon Herald. I believe we're waiting on Alex now?
Yes.
Oh, I figured you were going to go on longer.
I said, what else is there to say?
Right. Okay, I'm Alexander Ravenscroft, Stentor Herald. I don't have an office, and I'm mostly court and field, so I'm just in here to spoil things.
I'm Ulrich Eisenhand. I'm Cypher, which is internal submissions, and I'm about to switch devices, so I will be back in just a second.
My name is Adelaide Colette de Montfleur, from Iron Mountain and Herald at Large for Meridies.
And, oh, there you are, Ulrich, Lord Ulrich. And I'm the Honorable Lady Rosamund Playfair, Herald of the Shire of Drakenmere and Herald at Small for the Kingdom of Meridies.
Oh, at Small?
There are no small heralds in Meridies.
Alright, we are discussing...
Are you calling me fat, Antonio?
I couldn't call you fat without calling myself fat.
We will be discussing the internal letter of intent that is for the month of July. If you are on any of the Facebook groups for Meridian Heralds, Kingdom of Meridies, or SCA Herald Chat, there is a link there to the letter. We will be starting off here was number 1, Abigail Declare. She is having a new name and a new device. The device is ghouls on a pellet ephemeраted between 3 dragonflies, a Celtic cross, argent pierce ghouls. Commentaries immediately off the bat. We're having trouble with the spelling that she's wanting to use for Abigail, and we're suggesting more of a spelling of Abigail. Ogress gave us a link from the Family Search, and then Lord Antonio also gave us quite a bit of commentary for Abigail, also suggesting the same spelling.
Too. Freed gave some as well.
Is that how you actually say that name? Freed?
That's how I've heard it.
Okay.
And that's my best guess at it, so.
Right.
She gave some variations of the spelling as well.
Yeah, she gave us a variation of Abegealle.
And then Abigeall. My question is, I don't see it on here. Any restrictions on changes?
No. For her, the sounding, including name element, is most important. So I mean, it's still going to sound.
Did she check any of the boxes?
Yeah. No. According to what they're having here, where is Dropbox? We're going to go into the mystic land of Dropbox here.
Do you not have the files? I mean, the actual hard copies?
I do not. But I have July. No boxes of doom were checked.
Has anyone been in contact with her to find out if she likes one spelling more than the other?
Not yet, which I will probably be doing that this week.
Is everything that they've linked there? I don't know what Antonio sent. She wants 17th, 16th. Yeah, jeez, I cannot read. 12th to 17th century Irish, and we've got one Ireland, one England, two Englands, one Scotland, or Abigail itself. Declare is going to be an anglicized Irish form, so that's going to limit it a little bit. Let's see. Which it looks like everything they gave will work.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all within the time frame anyway, so that helps.
Yeah. And Antonio, it's looking like what you gave for Declare is about what Ogress gave as well. So.
Yes, I was pretty much agreeing with her, and unless they could find the spelling that they want, I'd go with the spelling we can use, as long as it sounds the same.
So.
What is...
And I think spelling it with the I's, the name looks prettier and more cinched together. All right, so we will suggest for the name. We will suggest Abigail as an I. All right. As for the device now, some questions were raised as to what exactly is going on with the Pierce segment. C-Stag is saying that they're not recognizing this as pierced, and Rowan is saying, I'm not sure this is pierced. The sable should throw through. If the ghouls show through, then the pellet is pierced as well.
All right. Now, they're saying that they don't recognize it, but they're not actually listing any reason that it's no good. The only thing I could find on it was basically what I sent you in the letter of commentary that said, by precedence, pierced means there is a round opening through which the field appears, unless otherwise specified. So this should be allowable as the color is specified. If it's not, I could not find a ruling against it.
Yeah, but here's the problem. A Celtic cross has that piercing by default, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to use a different color or a different tincture than what the cross is on. So that's an Argent cross on a sable plate, and they're piercing at ghouls.
Which they can't do.
Well, I don't know whether they can do or not, because the ghouls and the sable are actually separated, but a Celtic cross, I mean, if we had a normal Celtic cross on this, you would be able to see the sable in those 4 little triangles.
Just like you can with an amulet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, this is I mean, to be properly pierced, the way they're kind of describing it is everything inside the cross's annulet would have to be voided or would have to be pierced as ghouls. But that's not what's happening. They're taking advantage of the natural space in this cross for a different tincture. And it's interesting, I just don't know whether it's passable.
Which is why I said that unless we can prove that it's not, we should probably go ahead and advance it and let Reef make that call.
I am of the opinion that this is above my pay grade.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
We can
the
make
blaze
we can make a note that we question the pierced item and whether seek their
That's another problem. This is you can't blazon that as pierced. It's not pierced. Piercing is when you literally put a nail through it and you have that hole because it comes from the wounds of Christ. That has not happened with this cross. What we need to do is we need to say something about the part where it's the cross pieces within the amulet are voided of ghouls, but it's not piercing. So I'm not positive that the blazon is incorrect, and I am not sure that we could appropriately use this as an emblazon.
Okay, I copied and pasted this straight from Laurel Precedents. I didn't cite which one it was because I figured we could look it up later if need be. Where it says, pierced means there is a round opening through which the field appears unless otherwise specified. In this case, we are otherwise specifying. So we have a benefit of the doubt, or the benefit of the doubt, to give to the submitter, and it should be advanced.
It should probably be advanced, but it's still not piercing.
Then what is it?
I'm not sure.
In 93, which is several rolls ago at this point, they were doing quarter pierced.
For Celtic crosses?
Yeah, I saw one on a Celtic cross. This one's on a crosslet.
Can you give us a link to it? Oh well, no, 93. There won't be a emblazon of it.
Mm-mm.
And it's not voided.
Is it possible to forward it without knowing the correct blazon, or isn't that why we're looking at it at kingdom level?
No, we don't have to have a blazon for it. We have to submit one to be accurate.
Okay.
Alex, would you mind repeating that? I missed that comment.
I was basically we don't have to have an accurate blazon to send up an emblazon. We have to try, but they're not going to return it because we couldn't blazon it.
Right.
Correct, but if it's one of the things about Armory is that it has to be blazonable. If you come up with something that that nobody could accurately blazon, then yes, we would have an issue.
There's one from 2008. Let's see.
Well, if a Celtic cross is by default a pierced object, then
I'm not sure. A pierced object.
Someone hit Mist Home. Okay, it's not quarter pierced. Quarter pierced is where the intersection is of the vertical and the horizontal. That square, that's the intersection, is not, it is different colored.
Yeah, I've seen that. I didn't realize that's what it was called. That's not what we have here, though.
Nope.
Yeah. So should we forward it with the statement that we're not sure if that is allowable, and we don't know how to blazon it?
Generally, yes. You would just notate it that there was questions among the commenters and that we're asking for some clarification.
Mm-hmm.
Does Mist Home actually have an entry on this?
On Celtic Cross, I'm looking at it right now. Hold on, I'll paste it in the chat, or at least a link to it. There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
Ah, excellent. Thank you.
And doesn't mention anything about it.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah. So, what we're going to do is we'll send it up. We'll send it up with a notation that that we question the pierced segment and see what they go from there. Okay.
I think the correct blazon for that one might be the Annulet Voided Ghouls. Because according to Mist Home, a Celtic cross is a cross with an amulet superimposed.
Okay.
So I think the correct blazon for that one would be the Annulet Voided Ghouls.
All right. Well, we'll try that one. We'll go with that one. I like the sound of that one. All right. So
I can't complain about that. That actually sounds like it'd make a really good argument there.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on to number 2. We have another name and device. We have Adrian.
Mistress Adriana Stoddard,
Thank you.
Kingdom Minister of Arts and Sciences.
And she's getting a new name.
Knowing that, I say we return it now. I was going to give it. I was going to go for it.
Antonio, did you comment any on the name? Yes, you did.
Yeah, I did. I verified the given name documentation and link, but the surname documentation was missing a link. So I added. I'm going to add this to the commentary, so to the chat list. So I added this, and it's found. She's got a mixture of Dutch and English, which is supported by Appendix C as a mixable language.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I find no conflicts with it.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
And then was her device Papyrus came up with a reblazon.
The reblazon is just taking the commas out.
Oh,
Yeah.
is it? Okay. And she's also saying that it's a step from period of practice to have the annual arrangement.
Which it is. But it's only one step.
Yep.
So it's fine.
And I could find no conflicts in my search.
All right. So we'll beef it up with was your commentary. I mean, was your docs, Antonio?
Now, was
Yeah,
that
add the
was that
link.
missing completely?
Say that again?
Was that missing completely? Did I mean, I don't. It says just found the one instance of, but it didn't give the link. Was that something that was missed in the data entry, or was it missing from the forms?
Hold on one second.
I would have to double check that.
I'm doing that right now. It is not on the form.
Okay. Well, it's a good thing it was that this Sarah.
But it should be easy to get the link. I mean, it's
in Antonio's email.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying that. Yeah, I supplied the extra documentation and I put it up in the chat page for everybody else. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, add that link, add the Appendix C note.
Yeah, Ari Onwin's articles are easy to find, so it wasn't a terrible off-putting situation.
Some of them. You have to be sneaky to find some of the others.
But they're always worth the search.
Oh, yes.
All right. So we'll move quickly on this one and head on to number 3, which is a badge for her.
And it doesn't match the arm. Yay!
But commenters had a problem with the border. Antonio, you said it's not appear to be wavy as it makes crest. It looks more like a border engrailed argent femmurated azure, which femmurating a peripheral charge is not allowed. You recommend a redraw. Terrence says he's asking for forgiveness for his artistry.
Which I should point out, that was mine.
Oh,
that was my terrible wavy border, because it was about 4:30 in the afternoon at Artsy Crown.
Yeah, on Saturday.
Yeah, and I was tired, and I was trying to do a name consult, and I just sort of scribbled something out, and yeah, that's on me. Taryn can try and jump on that grenade, but that's totally me.
Well,
Are you telling me that Taryn can't tell the difference between the two of you?
I'm usually not one to, harp on minor artistic details, but there are commenters at the society level that will tear this apart because, oh my goodness, it makes a crest instead of a full wave. So I do recommend a redraw, but perhaps an artist note will suffice at this time. Unfortunately, if it goes up and they don't like it at society, then it's a 6-month delay or better.
right. Should we just go ahead and just pin it until a redraw can be sent and then send it with the redraw?
Well, at this point, I would say that I'd be open to advancing it with an artistic note if you think we got a majority vote that says, or primarily, what do you think? Because this is your decision.
Right.
But if we get enough people that say that they think they can see it as a oral wavy, then I'll concede.
There's one oral wavy in Oscar, and it did get a little note. I'd advocate at least an artist note to advise that the waves on the oral be drawn with more regularity and greater plenitude. And I pasted who wrote that and everything in the
Right.
chat.
Did they actually have an
It wasn't a badge, it was a device. So
Okay.
different shape. And it wasn't peaky wavy.
Thank you.
It was kind of meandering.
Yeah, that is very meandering.
And then there's a oral actually did a redraw there for that one.
So.
But that was a comment on that. So, and look at the lower though.
Did it end up being accepted though?
It was withdrawn by the submitter, so no clue.
Okay. Then.
And I can always redraw that.
Yeah, that's what I'm almost.
It's on a white background.
I can redraw one and send it to Mistress Adriana and get her approval for it.
Let's go ahead and pin this one for a redraw before sending it up. That way, it gives her a better shot because I know we don't normally, kill people over bad artistic style, but this is this is bad artistic style. So let's pin this one for a redraw, and then we'll go from there. Just to give her that little bit more of an oomph.
Okay.
Well, the only thing redrawing the border would do is help it. It's not going to change it.
Right.
I would actually, and I have done when I was. I'm sorry, I have done it before. You could throw up, a really quick redraw, especially since it is on a white background. It'd be really easy just to do it on your. You can do it electronically, and get a really decent border on it, and get it pushed in before the letter goes out.
Okay. Yeah. Well, if Aura can get it to me,
time to do it.
Yeah. If Aura can get me the redraw right quick before I send the letter out, which there are a few days before that happens. Okay. All right. Then we'll do a redraw. Get her permission, of course, and we'll go from there.
All right.
Ulrich, I pasted a link to the artwork for that wavy border. If you want to scale it, print it, trace it, turn it, trace it, turn it, so you get 4 sides.
All right. So we're moving on to Alessandra Giovanna Fioravanti. She is submitting a new badge per bin ore and ghouls, a bird azure, and a symbol argent.
Thimble.
What did I say?
Thimble.
Oh, okay. Fiora found no conflicts as well. Let's see. And Antonio found no conflicts. So,
other than wanting to see a bigger thimble, I'd say it's good to go.
We could just make an artist note to proportion the symbol a little better. Put that in my note. All right. Now we move on to this gentleman, Bartholomew of Illyria. We're not going to be giving this person any special compensation or anything, correct?
Yeah, we return it.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
the whole thing. He has technically 3 submissions here. He also has a badge. So we're just going to return all 3.
Do you value the way your head is attached to your neck? I'm just asking.
Hey,
I don't know. Have you seen this face?
My first job as pennon was returning the name of some woman I did not recognize as Amber Beakey's daughter. And after I made the return, Alex was nice enough to let me know that I just returned the princess's name.
And
I would just
and
like-
it actually passed eventually, right, Amber?
Yes, it passed after a lot more work, and well, let's just say I know dang well I didn't get any awards that reign or the following one either.
What are we talking about? I heard my name.
I would like to go on the record that I don't know any of these people.
We were discussing when I returned Amber Beakey's daughter's name.
No, I'm talking about the other people in this hangout.
Oh.
It's okay. Just have a beer.
Thank you, Alex. I think I will.
How about a ginger ale?
Now, you were able to find, Antonio, you were able to find Bartholomew in a more accepted batch than the I batch.
Taryn added that one, so, and all I did was reinforce.
Tony can't tell the difference between him and Taryn either.
Well, his mother-in-law can't. The entire time in 50th year, she kept on calling me Taryn because I guess I talked like he did.
I keep
You
saying
talked heraldry.
I keep saying I have your documentation up in front of me and everything, so that's why I keep saying that. So,
So this is basically I copied and pasted from Taryn, and I did double check it, so I verified the documentation on the family search, and it is correct. I could not find it anywhere else though.
okay.
Now,
Did we have any problems with Illyria?
It's a
no.
real place. It is not on the western coast of Asia Minor, however.
Nope.
Well, the only thing I could find in my search were, comments to the places in the Baltic Peninsula.
That's because it's on the Baltic Peninsula.
Yep.
All right.
Not on
Okay.
Asia Minor. How often I try to put it in Asia Minor?
Yep. In
I
my
don't know,
massive
what is Asian Minor?
in my
What?
massive page of links, the last link, which goes to Facebook, is from my posting in 2012 trying to get help on this, and that's to SCA Heraldry Chat. And that's I haven't reread it to look at it, but
They don't.
Yeah. Asia Minor is what it,
I'm sorry, is the problem that it's an OED quote, but that's not a no Xerox source?
Could you repeat that?
For Illyria, they do say they're OED definition, but that's the only definition for Illyria that's just provided there.
I thought OED was a non-photocopy.
It's not.
It's the old English dictionary, but the problem is
Oxford.
The Oxford English Dictionary. Does it date it?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Cited in 1556 as the describing someone from there.
Well, I'm sorry. I asked that before I looked up and saw that it was part of the original documentation.
Sorry,
Yeah.
that much I did.
All right, so we're definitely solid on Illyria.
I don't have a problem with it, going by the cited documentation summary for it.
Okay.
Now we have to look at name structure and compatibility because we're looking at naming structure from Flemish region up in Belgium down to the with the Baltic locative.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a stretch to put them together. I was hoping somebody else would, kind of step in on this one, because I would say it's plausible, only because Belgium is a Flemish and German-speaking community that you can mix German languages with Baltic, but it doesn't say anything about mixing French with Baltic. So I'm kind of out on this one.
So this, I'm going to take, whatever responsibility here for it being a 4-year-old consult and, my brain between the times. We can get Bartholomew as independent. What's his middle name?
Yeah, I was going to ask if we would be able to do a mundane name allowance with that. I noticed that on his forms.
That is his actual middle name?
Yes.
That is his actual middle name. We would need a photocopy of his driver's license or whatnot for documentation for that.
But does the mundane allowance exclude the weirdness?
Weirdness doesn't exist anymore, but.
Yeah, it doesn't exist in this case because we're simply saying just as if his name were Jordan or something that we don't see in the past. But it's a modern name, but it's allowed because of the name allowance. And then of Illyria is using lingua Anglica anyhow.
Okay.
I should think it's okay. You should
I'd say
have a birth certificate or something, even if the driver's license may not spell out the middle name, though. I don't know.
I think most state issue does give your full name, as long as it's on there.
Okay.
I mean, mine's on mine, but it's only 3 letters long, so it's pretty easy.
Yeah. So, what were you were saying about making a notation, Antonio?
Yes, I said just notate it, what we found, and mention that it's the submitter's middle name, and just let it ride from there.
Okay.
Because I'm sure that at some point it might be nice to mention who the submitter is too, but.
Yeah, that's called a SOV note.
Yeah, I plan on putting in there to say, hey, listen, this is our current highnesses at the time of posting.
Yeah. And coronation is scheduled for blah.
All right, moving on to his device. No one seemed to have any problem with it. I can get my computer to get on the page I want to be on. There we go. Which is Azure 2 pallets, Argent, extensively sable between a stag's head cabossed and a facies?
Fascist, I think.
Fascist.
It's the basis of the word fascist, actually.
A fascist Argent. So, but no one seemed to have any problem with the device. No conflicts were found. So we will make several notes on the name. Use the M-batch documentation and send it up. Moving on to his device, to his badge, which is item number 6, Azure, a stag's head cabossed. Argent was in a border, compy, sable, and Argent.
Isn't company by default sable and Argent?
I don't know.
I've never heard of it that way. I guess I guess it's a good time to search for it.
I want to say that it's a very minor point, but
this is from Wikipedia, but it says in heraldry the ordinary compony is composed of rows of panes of alternating tinctures. It does not specify black and white. The examples that they show are blue and white and red and white. So.
No, hold on, wait a minute. I've got somewhere to. What website is that? That's not it. Glossary.
Hey, Ulrich,
Yes.
look at that link I just sent and use that instead of regular Google searches so that you don't get anything Wikipedia.
Could you send that again so I could click on it? That would be a useful one. You just disappeared.
More Silas, yeah.
Oh, of course. I've got that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Great.
I have the chat window permanently up on my Hangouts, so.
Yeah.
Kat, you're gonna mess something up here.
That's her job.
Standing on keyboards.
Yeah. Search on the second one.
Okay, yeah.
Well, once again, it's a minor point, and
Yeah.
if the College of Arms decides they want to change it, the blazon.
Yeah, blazon gets changed all the time and everything. So we'll go ahead and send it up since we can't find any conflicts.
And O&A, I got Componi, Argent, and Stables registered 2014, so.
Yeah. All right. Again, we'll make an artist note that this belongs to our current royalty. So that, you know.
Sovereign's not an artist note, though.
Sovereign.
Say that again?
You might want to do that as a sovereign, not an artist note, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So
It's probably not necessary to do it on this one because it's attached to the same name.
Right.
No, it probably is.
Do it anyway.
Yeah.
They might look at them separately.
All right. So for this next one, I'm kind of going to refrain from saying anything.
It needs to be returned.
Most definitely.
This person named Carlos. This person called Carlos Blanco El Barbero has a new household and a new badge that they would like to send up. The household is Herschlinger House, and the badge is Or, a Peruke, Ghouls, and a Hand Apami Azure. So, if someone else wants to...
There's a problem with the order of the name elements, and if we could just find this submitter and get him to agree to change it to House of Hairslinger, you know. Yeah, even if we have to sweeten the deal to let him know, he could probably call it Hairslinger House for short later on, but...
Right.
You know.
No, he would never do something different than what he registered. That would be dishonorable.
It's not really different.
So, all right, we'll contact that submitter.
I call myself Antonio de Navarro for short.
Yeah, we will contact that submitter about that. I'm sure I can strangle his neck and get him to.
You could always pull a few hairs.
Yeah.
Be careful. They're a precious commodity these days.
So we'll contact the submitter about changing the order. I'm sure that's not going to be a problem with them. Now the question comes into where's the badge. One person believes that it looks like the person is trying to send a hand through a skirt.
Is it because it's I don't know. I see it as a wig. Actually, when I first saw it, I thought it was a shell of some kind. But when I realized it was a wig, I'm like, oh, okay, I see this as a wig. Now, my biggest question is, I have not found the name Peruke or however it's pronounced, anywhere else. Is this something new or found?
This is the defining instance of it.
Oh.
There was a April 1st letter. Was it this year? Last year? I don't know. That Bruce actually put extra documentation on to show that, yes, this is it.
And I believe
Just
that this.
finding it.
And I believe the artwork that was used was what was used by Bruce.
Yes. Benjamin Barker.
I know they existed later period. I'm glad he found something in period.
There's a link to Oscar with Brooks.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the wig is the period charge blazoned perukes, and Gilliam, 1632, page 231, cited as arms of Herman, circa 1510 in the Dictionary of British Arms, volume 2, page 354. The image provided is from a roll of grants made by William Harvey, compiled in 1558, as seen in The Heart of Heraldry by Peter Gwyn Jones, page 103.
Oh.
I would recommend adding that just so that it saves the commenters time having to look it up. But all I have to say is I love new charges, and it's obviously demonstrated to being period. So I find no conflicts, and I say, way to go, man.
It's better. It was a better idea than what I was thinking at first.
Yes.
I was thinking more of an arm embowed holding a tress, and Adelaide was like, "Well, that's going to look more like hair pulling than hair throwing."
But everyone knows that pigtails are for pulling. No one else read that book as a... Okay, never mind.
All right, so we will go ahead and send that one up. Going on to 8. Dorian. How do you actually say it? Inged? Ingid?
Ingian. Really? Like Ingian, I think.
Inyan.
I don't know the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah, this person. They have a new name and a new device. Per pale, sable, and azure, a tower, and on a chief embattled argent, 3 rear mice sable. This was another one from our current Archie Crown that was done.
A lot of these are Artsy Crown.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I remember coloring most of these.
Either we got them in that day or we tackled them the next day.
Well, Ogres states that there's a problem with the name is submitted, and I do believe that a client pen and intervention is required for this, for the name.
Right. Trying to get back to Oscar here. So they're saying since it's after the colon that is generally a modern form, so they may need to either use the spellings given. just suggesting that maybe with these spellings, it would have a better chance of going through.
Yes.
But she's also saying that the St. Gabriel report that we're using doesn't support the patronymic here.
Yeah, so the...
So I will...
Well, we
did
either
change
need
Dorian.
We either need more commentary on it, or you can ask the submitter if they want to go with the suggested spelling change.
Yeah, what I'm going to do is when I actually I'll actually email this person, and I will actually copy and paste the actual documentation, the actual comment from Ogress, and see what they want to come up with.
And just remember, if you really need help, Alice, until she becomes Pelican, will be open for consultations. And if nothing else, contact Mari. She always loves to help people out with these things.
Moving on to... and just so we can wrap it up in a nice little pretty bow, I don't think we're finding any conflicts with the device.
No, I did not find any conflicts with the device. As a matter of fact, I think it's wonderful, and I'm hoping that the name gets turned around very quickly so that the device can proceed.
Yeah, I will more than likely email her tonight after the meeting. So. Alright, so moving on to number 9, we have Druce McFib. The question comes in, the documentation, August is saying that the documentation is confirmed, but it's looking like where we have the problem is that they're wanting the meaning of fib or from fib, and Mac is a patronymic.
Yeah, I think that that's a minor thing, though, because in all honesty, if the fib is actually from the father's name, or even if it was a clan name, to be Mac of, you would be of this person's lineage or of this person's family. So whether it's of or son of is kind of I think it's a moot point, especially if it works for what the guy has.
Right.
I think Guy. I don't see.
I think
I'm
it's Guy.
that's a male because I don't see a female being Mac of anything.
I did that consult. That was one lady that had like 3 names that she was doing for her and other people. So.
But yeah, I agree. It's it is sort of like it's a point that could be put under the rug and sent on. Although Algress is recommending that it be changed to a lowercase m with a space in between Mac and fib.
Which will still get them the sound and everything.
Right. So we'll go ahead and send it up. They allow changes, so we'll go ahead and make the change and go on from there.
Carlos?
Yes.
Before we go forward, I probably just missed it, but on number 8, did we look at the device and just quickly said, yes, it's fine, and kept going? Because I'm...
Yes, we did.
Okay.
I'm getting behind in my notes. I didn't want us to have skipped it.
Yeah, no. We have a comment both from Papyrus and from Beacon saying, there's no conflicts, and Beacon loves the artistry of it. So
it is beautiful.
So number 9, we'll go ahead and send up with.
Although I will note, it kind of makes me think of something more, I don't know, Halloweenish. But yes, I still like it.
Well, if only they allowed Peen. Not Peen. Was it Tawny?
Oh yeah.
then yeah, that could definitely be Halloween. Yeah. Um, all right, so moving on to number 10. We have
Einar Knitter.
Einer Knitter. Submitter gave no gender, nor will they allow changes. But they're coming from. They're both coming from the Old Norse names.
Just
It's
say
my,
Jirabasi. We all know Jirabasi.
it's my client, and I recommended against the no changes, but we looked it up. There's 5 people already registered with the last name Knitter.
Mm-hmm.
They're all female names, but it is not one that has any particular ending that indicates it's a female profession or only applied to female people. So
Okay.
that's why no gender was requested. And he was at Rum Knitting, and 3 Laurels came by and complimented him on his work. He knits all the time.
Okay.
I was just checking for accents, and we're good there.
Yeah.
All right.
Because
So
you
we'll,
either have them all or have none, and you have them all. So.
Yeah, he likes them.
so we'll go ahead and send that up as is then. Moving on to number 11, Eleonora of Phoenix Glade. This is a resub device. It was returned by Kingdom in November of 2014 for a redraw. This device is drawn as Chaucy, not on a pale, and therefore conflicts with Joseph of Locksley. Vert a
Yosef. He's the guy who did the song Upon a billet checky Orin ghouls, a pair of cockatrices clouded motley like the fools. Their feathers are geminiated with the tree eradicated linden fruited counter company.
Holy cow.
Yes, the Herald's demise.
So,
Yes.
Alright.
They registered that without asking him.
If only we had Taryn here who could recite that so well.
It was recommended that it was stated that a pile is narrower at the top, starts inside the corners instead of at the corners, and doesn't extend to the edge of the base. Unfortunately, I'm going to look at the big picture here. While they did make it narrower on the sides, it still goes all the way down to the base.
Actually, it is just shy of the... Actually, let me blow this up, because the colored copy looks like it's just shy of the base. Oh, no, it's just a pen stroke. Darn it. I missed that. Bad deacon.
No biscuit.
Now the question remains is this just a narrow chassis then?
What was the... Hold up. What goes all the way to base? No, unfortunately...
It's a pile throughout.
That's not... But it's not chaussee. It's, that's the problem. Because chaussées are the actual... pants legs.
The blazon provided with this device is a pile throughout.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a pile, but as it was stated in the original return, it doesn't go all the way down. It's not supposed to go all the way down to the bottom of the shield. It's supposed to stay up from the bottom a little bit. I would hate to return this again because it took her 1.5 years to get her redraw through. But as Pennon pointed out, it's touching the base, which means I'm scratching my commentary. My commentary said it was fine, and now that I see that where the problem is, I'm withdrawing my comment.
But my question is, if it's a pile throughout and not just a pile, wouldn't a pile throughout mean that it goes all the way to the base?
Thank you, and I'm sorry for interrupting you then. I missed that.
Yes, it is a pile throughout.
Yeah, if they want Chauncey, they're going to have to give something else.
No, they don't want Chelsea. They want a pile throughout because that's what's going to turn the tree into a tertiary. Adelaide, do we have anything on the piles throughout?
In O&A? There's 60 registrations. There's a reblazing in 2014. Didn't change anything. Pile throughout issuance from the Sinister registered in 2013. Oh, there we go. Barony of Loxlear. Don't even try to spell that. And while I'm working on this, Tony, can you bring up your Facebook? Let's see. And I'll get more typed when I get there.
Oh.
Hello. That is completely different art.
It came in upside down. That's fine.
Yep. That's how it was sent to me.
Okay, not a problem. And we would have taken care of the redaction on our end.
Well, he had concerns, and
Understood.
I'm looking to make sure we don't have to send it up. So.
Okay.
This one, it goes all the way down.
All right. Well, here's the thing. If they said pile throughout and they drew a pile throughout, and a pile throughout is allowable, then yes, it's fine. And I'm sorry for bringing up.
Okay, I've got a device. So this one's getting posted. I was looking for since 2012's.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a device.
All the way down.
And that one goes all the way down.
I don't know. We got one from Kaid from 2015, so that's very recent. Yeah. And no comments were made on it. Okay.
All right. Then she definitely came away from the edges. I mean, that's a full checky away from the edges.
Yeah.
Both sides. So
that makes it a really good pile, and throughout works for me.
All right. So yeah, we'll send it up then.
You see, this is why we should pay more attention instead of just blurting.
All right, moving on to number 12. Fig Grace, a new name and new device. The device is Azure, and Al Argent was in 5 mullets of 5 points ore.
Can somebody check the document, the form on this one? Because according to the documentation, Frig is a surname, and Grace is a given name. The submitter does look like they mentioned that surnames can be given names in late period English, but they don't address Grace as a given name becoming a surname.
Yeah, all it has is Grace, 1618 England, family search, the batch number.
Yeah, I wasn't asking that question. I was asking what is actually on the form.
That's what's on the form.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this was another one of the Artsy Crown ones. I believe this is one that Taryn did.
Taryn with my assistance.
If I remember the phrase "which way do you want it" was uttered.
Multiple times.
And whether you wanted it Frig Grace or Grace Frig. And
Someone hit up a family search for Grace as a last name.
But they found.
I'm sorry, Adelaide. Did you say somebody do it, or somebody has
Please,
done it?
someone do it. I know
I've
I did
already
it that
done it.
day, but I
I've
don't.
already done it. It's in the comment on
Good.
the chat window.
Good. Thank you.
Now, the person who commented on this name did find it on the online Middle English Dictionary. Give 3 dates examples of it as a surname from 14th century. Simon Grace, 1310. Will Grace de Trot, 1311. And Nicholas Grace, 1327.
Yes, but the good thing is the IGI family search that I put up pulls pulls the name Grace right next to Frigg, so we're not stretching so far.
Okay.
Even though it is within limits, it's still, I would like to say that Grace Frigg is an awesome name. Big Grace is, plausible.
So, all right. So we'll go ahead and use the documentation that you have there for Grace. And you spotted the thing that I with the device. You spotted the same thing that I did. Is that mullets by default are 5-pointed, so the of 5 points is really not needed. So the blazon should just be azure and owl argent within 5 mullets or.
I've got it between, which within or between should be fine, because with it, if you've got it, if it was an oral, I would say within. An oral of 5 months, but with this one, I just said between because technically it is between the spacings of them all.
Okay. All right. So between.
And the 5 should be default 2, 2, and 1. So that puts it pretty much. That's exactly what it would look like.
That put it much between. So we'll use your blazon for it as well. So yeah, Tony's docs for Grace, and then make the blazon change. Number 13, Barony of Gladenfeld makes another appearance for this one with the Order of Ganymede's Cup.
Ganymede.
Ganymede. And we don't really have any comments for it.
I'll admit, even I opted out of commenting on this one.
Right.
That meant I'd have to start doing a lot of research.
Yeah. Master Alexander, this is another one of your babies.
Yeah, this is one of mine. Ganymede was Zeus's boy toy, and who he turned into a cupbearer. So this is a character from Greek mythology bearing his primary symbol, much like you would see the saints doing the things you identify them.
Mm-hmm.
No, why didn't this get sent up with the other ones?
Because it was requested after I'd done all the rest of them. They came
judging by the orders, I don't see why there would be a problem with it. Can't we? Do we have any references to other order names? Something of somebody's. I'm sure I've heard them before.
Athena's owl. Gladenfeld's Athena's owl.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I recall that one since I was the one that did the write-up for it.
It should definitely fit in within naming patterns.
Yeah, Order of Athena's Owl, no apostrophe.
Why not? Just
It would be a possessive. Should have one.
I can pull the lower.
They don't care, and I can tell you that Gladenfeld will be happy to take the Order of Ganymede if having a possession in the Order's name is deemed untenable.
Well, that when Laurel registered Athena's Owl, there's no apostrophe. It's still Athena's Owl.
Yeah, and I don't have I'm on the wrong computer, so I don't have my lookup for that because I actually stated if anybody wants to go and look up that one, that it should state the structure that was used. And that's what I was looking for on this one. Just because it says Order of Ganymede's Cup and you say all about who Ganymede was, it's still we need to note that this is the structure we're using, the naming pattern.
Right.
Okay, I got it. Athena's Owl, with the apostrophe, is a modern lingua anglica form. By long precedent, we do not allow the creation of lingua anglica forms of given names and have to document the name. A 1582 letter to Walsingham mentions a Latin proverb, Therefore, Athena's Owl is a plausible 16th century English form. We have removed the apostrophe and registered this form of the name.
Okay, so the removal of the apostrophe is something they did.
They did it.
Which is more than likely what they're going to do with this one. So.
And that will be fine.
Yeah. So, all right. So we'll just go ahead and send it up. And let them hash it out and do what they want to do with it.
Yeah, I'm only going to be here for another couple of minutes. Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Mostly, since I've got a couple of you there, are you going to have the transfers go through the internal process, or are they going directly up to Oscar?
It has to go through, even though it doesn't get commented on.
I know it has to go up, but are they going to go into the internal letter next month?
They have to go through the internal process, even though we don't comment on them. Just like most administrative actions, they have to be on the letter.
Okay.
I know it seems ridiculous, but that's always been.
No, it makes perfect sense.
Oh, I'm sorry, Carlos. I wasn't stepping on your toes there, was I?
No. You have a little bit more knowledge when it comes to that, and and what's actually going on with that. So that was fine.
Okay. I just realized I was really quick to answer, and I didn't give you a chance.
No. Yeah, I would figure because we've seen heraldic wills and everything go like that have to go through the internal process. So that was the precedence that I would have been going on to that. All administrative actions have to go through. They don't get any free passes. All right.
Right before we go on, going back one, I have a question. How many charges do you have to have before it becomes many? Were they all 5? Is it 5 and more, or
6?
6 and more. Okay.
6 is semi.
Then this device does not conflict with the flag of the European Union. Because if it had been many, then it would have been many yellow stars on a blue field, and the only difference would have been the owl in the middle.
Well, that's a primary charge.
I'm sorry. When was that brought up?
I'm just.
It wasn't.
I was running things in my head.
I'm sorry. I was reading something else, and I started hearing you talk about it. I'm like, whoa, how did we go?
Yeah.
I was just wanting to make sure.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if it started at 5 or if it started at 6.
Well, it depends on how the arrangement's done. Sometimes it can be 6, but usually 6 or more becomes a semi.
Okay.
And it's specified in the O&A 12 mullets.
Okay.
Well, yeah, but if I were to try to do a 0-15 mullets and annulo,
yeah,
or it would still get bounced. So, can we rush on because I want to be involved for
number 15.
Yeah. Okay.
For Harold, and then I need to push off.
Yeah. Okay, so we have Hannah Glover, New name, new device, Propel, Ghouls and Azure, 2 cross, a botany, and a beehive beset by bees or.
I don't really think that's beset by bees, but I think that's an artistic concept. 3 is hardly besetable.
Right.
It's artistic, not blazonable.
Okay. So it'd just be something that accompany, just really, the 3 bees would just be something that just accompanied the
I have to
beehive.
remember to unmute my mic because I'm over here trying to argue with Alex and nobody's hearing me.
No, I prefer it when people argue with me and they're muted.
Yeah, so do I. However, it's found blazoned that way quite often in the O&A, and if there's really
correct, I'm not arguing with you.
and there's no reason to omit it, unless somebody has a stronger reason than 3 is not really beset.
Right.
But
I don't. I just don't think it is. But that's it. But the blazon's correct. I just think they should draw more bees. But it's not even
Meanwhile,
worth an
the
argument.
name.
Yeah. The Papyrus found a family search for Hannah. I guess they
There was a post-it note on that where they that I forgot to add in where they were I think it was one of Fiora's, and she asked to put into commentary to have someone find a date for Hannah because she couldn't find a date at the time she was working on it.
if you
Yeah,
guys,
Jared?
hey, I have a question real quick. Who all does not have a copy of the letter of commentary I sent to the internal letter list?
I may not have it.
I sent it to you in email. I forwarded it right to you when you gave me your email address a little bit ago.
Yeah, we did this at the beginning, so
Yes.
I've got it. Rosamund should have it.
All right, now
I do
Cypher.
not.
Cypher, are you on that list?
You mentioning it at the beginning of this meeting was the first time I'd ever even heard of it, so no.
All right. I'm going to notate that and have a conversation with you guys about this later on.
Okay.
Anyway, I just put it in the comments section. There's all the documentation you need to pull Hannah and Glover right together.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So we'll go ahead and use your documentation.
Yeah.
All right. And there wasn't no one. Did you on yours? You found no conflicts with the device, so we'll go ahead and send both the name and the device up. Just making the changes with using your documentation. So we'll go ahead and move on to Harold.
I've just invited Cypher to the internal list.
Thank you, Centaur.
We'll go ahead and move on to Harold von Bross. Master Alexander, if you will go ahead and, because you put in a very lengthy commentary here, if you could summarize it for us right quick.
Certainly. I have to disagree with Cypher, who was under the impression that the College of Heralds had made an error. The College of Heralds, as I believe my documentation shows, did not make an error. We complied with the submitter's requests. That resulted in a declension and his name not being registered, where I can surmise that Cypher was told that there was an administrative error years ago. It is not true. I know because I lived through it.
Cypher put that in because that was on the form.
And I
Yes.
assume that was what happened. But you have to understand, certain submitters get really confused at times and don't know any better. But I will have to agree with Stentor. I was there. I lived through it as well.
I'm not doubting that at all.
Yes.
The problem that I'm seeing right now is that we're going to have to go ahead and redocument it because the person's didn't really document it. He just went through and said, well, I want it done to this because this is the way I sent it in last time. That's not doing a documentation summary. That's a submitter being lazy. Yes, I said it on the air. I don't care. That's a lazy submitter. Bad submitter. Okay, so do we have a documentation summary prepared?
Yeah. Yeah, I think there are copies of it in the various stuff that I blocked in. What I did is I took the relevant areas of his various returns and put them in there, and Harold von Barth is one of the constructed, I want to say Arianwi provided that, or the documentation came from her websites.
Okay, I think I remember somebody. There was actually documentation for Herald in German as well, wasn't there? I don't see why we can't make this a full German name.
The other portion in here that I would like to question is he used the grandfather clause as it's already registered under his holding name.
No,
I don't
that
think
doesn't
you
work
can
that
do that. Is that correct? Anybody?
No, you can't use a grandfather clause on a holding name.
Okay.
Okay. Now I will make a side note here that this was originally put in at Gulf Wars, and he was trying to do this as an appeal and not a name change. When I looked over what he had written on the original document and going through and reading Cena on what an appeal is, I looked at Cypher and I told Cypher, this is not an appeal. It doesn't in no form whatsoever meet the guidelines of what an appeal is. Waiting 9 years to...
I'm sorry, that also brings the question, was this submission paid for?
Yes.
Okay. Because as an appeal, you don't have to pay for it, but this is actually a resubmission.
Yeah. So, I consulted with the submitter and says, I believe it will work better if we do a name change. And I've seen people use the grandfather clause for a name change, but I did not know you cannot do that for a holding name. So that fault lays on my shoulders.
Yeah, but you do name changes with grandfather clauses when what you are doing is you are changing your name to something that you can only register that way, but it is yours. So, for example, if we no longer registered Alexander, my son could register Alexander because I have.
Right.
Well, is anyone putting this together, or should I start on it?
Well, we have down at the bottom underneath Adelaide, we have a family search given, and with a sketch of Barth from 1618 in German, and they give
which he contends is Frisian.
So we do have an attempt here to do it.
I'm looking at my comment going, I remember writing on this. I don't know what I wrote.
Yeah.
There's been an event between that.
One or two, huh?
Just
Right.
one. Actually,
Yeah,
two.
I remember,
but one.
I remember looking at this and going, wait a minute, this was not an administrative error. We were spending a great deal of time not making administrative errors on this one.
And I tried to summarize and everything with your giant, thankful documentation. So,
Well, I knew where all of it was.
Exactly.
There was multiple submissions and a lot of trying to push for stuff.
He's the submitter is going on and trying to say that he did state that Vaughn was an acceptable change.
Actually, that is not a true statement. His quoting him is that of Vaughn and Do are acceptable changes. He will not accept them, but it was also the spelling change. He would have changed the article, but he wouldn't accept the change in Barth.
Yeah, because
So he gave us a list of you can change this but not that. We had to change both. Therefore, it's a return.
Ah.
Yep.
There's a bed. He made it. He's lying in it.
well, if we can move along with it, because as it is, we're already an hour and a half into this.
Yeah.
Is there a way we can just grab the documentation summary we need and push it up as you have it as a change of the holding name?
Well, there is.
Just leave, because if we can leave the rest of this out of there, I bet you that the commenters, its society would love us if we don't give them a mile of history on this.
Yeah, well, like I
they
said,
don't need to. Yeah, I don't think they need history.
If you scroll down underneath Adelaide's, we have for Harold, we have a family search that they found Heraldis, and it says that the expected vernacular German form would be Harold.
Yes, but I don't want to. I would like to see something other than expected, because what is that? Italian? I'm sorry. Is that Latinized or something? Being Heraldis?
Yes.
If we can actually find a hard, not an expected, because because he's over here saying I don't know Fried well enough to say they're smart enough to know, but if you say the expected vernacular German form would be, you've got to back it up with something. I don't speak German, except I can say, wo ist ein Toiletten, and that's not even correct. So,
9.
9.
It's down the hall and to your left.
It's only to the left because it's behind me. It's actually on my right. My screen is mirrored at the
When you
moment.
turn around,
Harold.
It'll be on my right when I turn around. My screen is mirrored, so it only looks like it's on my left.
Yeah, but I know what your house looks like now. So.
Wait a minute, does that mirror what you guys see or just what I see?
Probably what
Never
you
mind.
see.
That's not important right now.
That's not. Okay, I'm going to log off.
I found a Herald Herold from 1604.
Well, I'm in family search.
We've got a C batch from 1635 or 1642.
See, that's just christening.
Yep.
Most likely that happens before when they're only a few years old. That puts it really gray. But I would accept a C batch from that time period.
Hey, listen, people.
Yes, Stentor?
I need to log off. I've given you what I can on this one. I'm just going to finish up with one. Isabella Du Bois's badge.
Right.
I still have difficulty seeing them. I think they're better in Trian. They just don't look like bread to me.
Well, no, they don't look like bread at all to me. That's why in my commentary I said that they would be fine as if you use Byzance. But
Yeah.
we would need to consult with the submitter to see if she's okay with them being Byzance.
Yeah, because if on the black and white, you can vaguely make out the little cross marks on it.
Yeah.
But then they get very lost in the color.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to head off, and y'all have a great evening. Tell me how these two end up somebody later, okay?
Hey,
Okay.
Alex, before you leave, I have one thing to say.
Yeah.
You might want to close the window behind you. You're going to let all your air conditioning out.
My air conditioning's not on. I'm going by fans.
Okay, back to family search. Okay.
I only turn the air conditioning when people show up.
You only turn it on for me, right?
Well, I've done it for Roz, too.
Oh, she's important.
Scandalous.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
I know I shouldn't be doing this during the meeting, but it was teasing him because I'm always teasing him because he likes it hot. And if it wasn't for I could never spend a minute in his house, without the AC on. I'm just, I don't know. I'm warm-blooded. I produce my own body heat. But can we go back to where we were before we move on to 17, though?
Yeah, I'm in family.
Yeah, I think those of us not involved in that conversation are still on Harold Barth.
I mean, we already know that he's submitted in the past. He submitted documentation to support the name elements. So we might be able to go back and snag that documentation from his previous submissions, because they're on offer.
Which is what is in mine.
Okay. So we'll get the name elements and try to put them together if we can. Was
what they gave the Fried give was a sketch of Barth in 1618 in Germany. Is that going to be good enough?
I don't have a problem with it personally, but that's really going to be up to Pelican to make that decision. But like I said, if we can just grab the documentation summary from his previous submissions and try to pull it together with what he's allowed, because everything hinges on the commentary that was left before, because that's exactly what his whole submission goes off of. Is, well, I did this before and they said this was fine, and then they returned it.
In 2009, they say we would change the name to Harold von Barth in order to register it.
Mm-hmm.
Given the documentation that they added for Barth and the documentation that was there for Harold.
Yeah.
I pulled out both of those documentations in my comment that's hidden underneath Alexander's.
Okay. I don't see anything under out. Oh, that one.
I told you, it's hidden.
All right. So then that's where we were saying we have Breckenmacher's has Barth.
And I actually found the Oscar version of his from 2007. That's the link.
So
right
do you
there.
have the original documentation for Harold that I also state in my comment?
It's got both Harold and Barth.
Okay, yes, but let's see. Withycombe's got it as a pretty early. What's that? That's 11th century. And Breckenmacher's has Barth at 1262. You've got it. It's all right there. Why did you say so in the first place?
You know, it took me a bit to realize what I had written there too. I mean, that was,
Yeah, I don't know how
23 days ago.
Well, somehow I completely forgot to.
Yeah, you didn't talk about it at all.
Right. I don't know how I missed that one. If you'll forgive me, I'm going to do something real quick.
I see the Barth is also in the July of 2007 return.
Okay, so
And I
if
went
you
and
guys
found
look at
Harold.
the chat window, if we do this, do we like that?
The question I have is, with words, I can have them. Harold, as it is, Harold is an English name, and Barth is a German locative.
Yes, it's all right. That's why we have to use the von and not of, because the article has to match the place name, and English and German are able to be mixed linguistically in Appendix C.
Within 300.
And we've got them right here within 200 years easy.
So it doesn't matter either way.
Yeah.
So what I've done is I grabbed what you just wrote, Tony.
Yes.
And I put that in my notes.
All right.
So that's when I send it up. That's what I'll send it up with.
All right.
Okay.
Give a notation for its history. Just don't copy the whole thing. I mean, most of the submitters probably understand it. I'm sorry, most of the commenters may remember this.
I'll just make a note that this device has had many. That this name has had many. What's the word? Occasions.
I like that. Sounds good.
The reason why I brought it up is I'm looking at the Appendix C table right now, and English and German are not listed with each other.
Okay, hold up.
We got Dutch and French, but we don't have German. And with German, I've got Dutch and French, but not English.
Oh man, I am on the wrong computer for this.
Yeah.
Do I have seen it in here? I do not have seen it, Doc.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to
So-
find it as a German name.
Okay,
Else-
so if you look in the comments on Hangouts, go above, I think, where Carlos pasted that family search link that I threw up there. That's Harold from a C batch, 1642 in Germany.
Okay, works
Where?
for me.
Where did we say this at?
In the comments on the Hangout.
Uh-huh.
The last one.
Look
that
at
you
the flowers.
Flowers. Family search. There we go.
I am going to in my mind depart from the fact that they're from opposite corners of Germany, but they are both.
Doesn't matter.
Germany didn't really exist back then anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We have it German in German then, even better.
Yeah. So, all right. So I'll
Alright.
use that family search, and I'll use what you wrote up for Barth, Tony.
Or what Adelaide wrote up for Barth.
Or-
All I did was transfer it.
Okay.
What former, or at the time, let's see, 2007. Yeah, what former Pelican or Laurel wrote up for Barth?
All right. So,
Huh. He's absolutely right. Germany, I'm looking in the early part and in the late part. Neither one has it. So where did I think that they were mixable? Maybe because originally it was because he was pushing for Frisian. Well, originally we were trying to go for English and Dutch as well with Harold Van Barth, but like I said, or like it has been said, this name has a long, drawn-out history.
Yep.
right.
So
I'll, yeah. So we got something that can work that might finally be able to do it. So, so we'll move on to number 16. Isabella Du Bois's new badge, Azure, Ermine, or a quatrefoil argent and a border embattled ore.
I'm going to say that I would love to see a lot more Ermine on this. I did a resubmission for her, or not a resubmission, a badge change, because she was originally told that she couldn't have yellow ermine on blue field, and that's why her original one was done in peen. She doesn't like all the black and wanted it in blue. She approached you guys at Artsy Crown, and I just happened to be coming up behind her, and I was able to attest to this, that the submission was sent into their Herald and never went anywhere else. It also did not have the embattled border, but Taryn tells me that he talked to her and she said that she was wanting to do it this way and just add it as another badge. So there we have, that's what she wants, that's what she gets. It looks fine to me except for the lack of extra ermine spots. And
Yeah, I think if you had two, at least two more.
yeah, even if they were cut from cloth around the embattlements, I wouldn't have nearly as much problem with it. But yeah, it needs. I would give an artistic note. I find it to be clear of conflict. The closest one that I could find to it was the peen, a quatrefoil argent with an embattled border ore, which already belongs to her anyway. And that's
Right.
clear by 2 feet, one for the field, the 2 DCs, one for the field and one for the complex border.
Right.
So, artistic note and advance is my recommendation.
Is for more spots.
Or would you just say with 4 ermine spots? Could you do that instead?
Well, we could, but then if we said it was a quatrefoil between 4 ermines in Saltaire, but then we would have to re-conflict check. We know what she intended. It was just, at Harold's point, they were rather pressed for time, and I imagine they didn't think to add the extra spots.
You can blame Taryn on that one.
I'm not really interested in pointing fingers, so I'll make sure I let him know that you said so.
Believe me, by about 3 o'clock on that Saturday, we were fried.
I'm really sorry that Taryn's not here today because he has some input on the majority of these submissions. He really should have been here, but life happens.
Yeah. So, all right. So we'll just make an artist note, of more spots.
More dots. More dots.
Okay.
More dots. Stop dots.
17, her other badge, which we already had a small discussion about the bread. I mean, like I said, if you blow up the black and white, you can see the markings that would definitely make it look like a round loaf of bread.
If it wouldn't be too hard to grab a fine tip Sharpie marker and darken those in, and I know that that's just helping a submission, not changing it, because
Right.
Otherwise we're going to have to call it Byzance or it's going to be blurred image and have to be returned.
Mm-hmm.
I found it clear under the Byzance, and I also gave a blazing foo on it as well, but. If she wants it to be bread, absolutely, yes. Go ahead, darken in those little cross hatchings so that it looks like hot cross buns.
Okay.
Yes, I said it. And I know that she actually has this on her standard. I know because my wife painted it and I designed it. And I recognized it immediately because I think I originally drew that. The original design for it. I was surprised that she actually went and decided to register a badge for it, but we don't have to. What was it that I did on the Blazing Foo? Sorry, I have to remember. I wrote this a couple of weeks ago.
I see this as Bert, 2 fish, and Angelo Argent between 6 Byzance.
Yeah.
Impale.
Rather than saying 2 fish and bowed, because. With these other examples that I put up, you see that if you go look at these things, and they're on Oscar, so you could see them, except for the first one, you can see that they were all the exact same way. They were either like this or like this, So, and they blazoned them and registered them with just 2 fish and annual, so we can drop the embowed.
Ulrich, do you still have the hard copies of this one?
Yes, I do.
Could you do me a favor? Could you go ahead and just?
I'll take care of it and scan them in after the meeting.
Okay, thank you. But yeah, because I think that will look. It will artistically. It will look nice with the little, as Tony says, cross hot buttons. So.
Now, I'm looking up loaves of bread. Not One, but Oscar.
Mm-hmm.
And all of them are the long loaves.
Does the picnic have anything for loaves of bread? Because I'm going to say that we all know that this is a typical style of bread loaf that was found in the Middle Ages, and but yes, it would be hard to tell the difference between it and Byzance. Even with the hatchings, I mean, it's the same reason we don't have sand dollars.
If you looked at the bread loaves on the peel in the Mistholm link, they are more oval and they have 3 sharp lines across them, and I think they look more bread-like.
Can you link us to that?
Oh, I don't know how to do it. It was.
I'm working on that right now. I'm on Mistholm, so just give me.
Yeah.
One of these days, I'm not on my computer, so I don't have all my bookmarks. Hell, it took me about 10
it's right there. It's in her submission. Or it's in
that. Okay, let me look at that then.
It's
Sorry.
in Alice's response. Sorry.
Yes, they are.
There's Mistholm right there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I actually got this. The Baker's Peel. This is Mistholm's, okay, and it's a very small. If I click on it, you're right. It's ovalish, and it has the French bread little lines on it.
Yeah.
Well, want English bread instead of French bread, by golly.
Yeah, because the bread loaf that you just put up is very nice, but I don't think it's close to what she wants. She wants something that looks roundish, especially if she's already got it on a wonderful banner.
Mm-hmm.
But I think stretching out the circle, the bazant, into a somewhat more oval, like a cat's eye shape, would probably...
Even
I haven't looked up how many different times bread has been registered. I don't know if they would be uncomfortable with that shape. But.
Now, we could try it as submitted.
I say,
see what happens.
It's recognizable to me as a thing of bread, with the hash marks darkened. It is very recognizable as bread to me.
But it doesn't show well in the color. You're right about that.
Right. It just needs. That's why we're going to darken them.
Yeah. Well, preference. I would agree. Maybe just go with what she wants and just darken it. See what they say.
Yeah.
Well, it would be the easiest fix rather than doing a full redraw. That's what I'm going at.
Yeah.
Now,
I don't know if you can see it, but I went ahead and darkened it in. Does that look better?
Yeah.
You guys?
That looks way better.
Very nice.
All right, I'll get that scanned in as soon as the meeting's done.
Yeah, I'll just need the images.
Okay, great.
I'll scan them in, drop them into Dropbox.
All right, thank you.
Okay, I've got an AFK for a minute, so I'll be back.
You know what? That sounds like a good idea.
Quick, well, somebody's not here.
While we're doing that, I'm going to look over. We're on number 19 of 25, so we're getting there. No, I'm sorry, we're on 18 of 25. But some of these are fairly just, a quick thing about them. So, I think we're past the long discussion ones.
Ow. There's a desk there. Actually, it's not a desk. It's a very nice trestle table.
Don't need that one anymore. Keep that one. All right. We'll go ahead and go on to number 18, Jessica of Offspray. The main problem that we're having with the name is that the way that particular branch is done is of the Osprey, or is the barony of the Osprey, and not just Osprey. But yet we've had several people that have sent it in as Osprey. But this client is particularly going with no major changes.
And adding the word "the" is a major change.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yes, this has been a common occurrence over the last several years. Unless you want to document Osprey as a place, or she's going to have to add "the." Because it was
which I think is going to be easy enough to get her to agree to adding the word "the."
Yes.
Because I think vocally what's going to happen anyway is what has happened, because even down here we don't say barony of the Osprey, we say barony of Osprey. So
yeah.
So I think it's going to be very easy to say, hey, listen, just for registering purposes, not for speaking purposes, we need to add the word the.
Yep.
And
I'm sorry, you're breaking up. I didn't hear you say that.
I said that, I think it's
I'm
going to be...
sorry, you're breaking up. I didn't hear you say that.
Ah, okay.
And we lost him.
Oh my God!
You did. You really did make him break up. That was terrible of you.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
I didn't know Beacon had ultimate power.
But what I was going to say is I think
Carlos, did you fall out or did you reset?
I fell out. It did it again to where it says that my computer is asleep. And, my computer is definitely not asleep. But
I think that this was one of the Artsy Crown submissions that we had several where we had a client that wanted to register a device, but they didn't have a name registered, so they just threw together a mundane name allowance and their branch name in an effort to have a name to put with the device.
I don't think it's an Artsy Crown because the device is done digitally.
I think this is one where she had it printed off and brought it with her.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, Jessica of the Osprey was there, so.
Because this is one of the ones that I brought home with me. I have my receipt for taking the money for this one.
Right.
So I've
it's got an initials. It's got an initial by Fiora by it. So yeah. So yeah, this is an Artsy Crown. But yeah, I think what I was trying to say before, Google was really rude to me, is that I think it's going to be easy for me to call up the submitter and say, hey, listen, we need to add the word the to it for registration purposes, because down here it has gotten into a pretty well vernacular that we say Osprey and not the Osprey. So
yeah, it's the kingdom.
Yeah.
But yeah, because the registered form of the Baronese name is the Osprey.
Right. Which I might try to discuss with the barony that says, hey, you're the Osprey. Do you want to try to fix it?
You might want to look into why it was registered that way before you go that route.
Hold up, but here's something else. In the documentation summary, it actually says the local group is the Barony of the Osprey.
Mm-hmm.
Claiming not knowing at the time is, it was right there in print.
Yeah.
So, but yes, go ahead, contact her, see if she can add the. Otherwise, all of this has to be returned.
Right.
So,
now we have. You think you have found a conflict with someone from the West.
No, I just said consider, but that's also when I was looking at that and thinking that the Smollett and the Wests were they're secondary charges. It's a different charge group, so that completely clears it from hers because her compass stars and her tree are all primary.
Okay.
So if you look at where I added in the letter of commentary there, I changed it to. I believe these Mollets are a secondary charge group, as are the rest that I found in the ONA. As Jessica's compass stars are a primary charge group with the tree, I believe that the device is clear.
Yeah, because then you would have a DC for changing. You would have a DC for removal of the secondary group and having two primary groups. Yeah. So.
Yeah, so basically, in what I said when I said consider so-and-sos, I did more looking into it, and I withdrew I changed my commentary in the letter of commentary. So I believe this is clear.
Okay. All right, then I'll contact her about adding the. All right. Then we go on to number 19.
Lydia. should have pasted the entire thing in there instead of just a little bit.
Lilith Adub. We have a comment that we have here is that Lillian is found as a Christian name in English in the 16th century, and Lilith is about the same time period in Scotland. It gives no date example of the name. It also explains that it's probably a pet form of Elizabeth with no connection to the flower. The name of which was adopted as a given name in the 19th century.
Now, he mentions that the Dictionary of the Older Scottish Tongue pretty much brings the name to right about the end of November in 1598. So that's one example that dates it to in our period.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if I can go back up and look at the header again. What kind of changes does she allow? Doesn't mention.
Right. Let me check her form.
She didn't check either of the boxes.
Right. The way Coldeth makes it sound is that you're not going to get for the article. That Lilith Dub as a late 16th century Scottish name is fairly well justified, and it would basically be like calling her Black Liz. So it would not mean Lily of the Dark, and that's not the way that their names worked anyway.
Mm-hmm.
If you find it acceptable, I recommend changing it to what he suggested, and notating, of course, in the LOI why we changed it. But I don't know enough about this naming pool, but I can follow it pretty well, and I have to agree with him.
I've got Lilius, the way it's spelled, in 1582 London. And 1580, yeah.
Did you find this where?
When you go to Morcelus, that green bar that's in there, that's a name search. Just paste the name in there.
What's that?
Neat.
The green bar. Oh, hey.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I ever paid much attention to that.
I think I learned it a year or so ago. Or noticed it, and I started playing with it, and I'm like, ooh.
Okay. Well, right there we've got it English, right there at the turn of the century.
Top one is 1604 for sure. I just went to the actual documentation, searched for it, so.
Then I see the one underneath of it where it says.
So we've got it. So we've got it 1582 and 1604 for English. Now, how to get that surname is another story.
Well, same
If
thing.
it's English, can't we mix it with Gaelic?
Gaelic?
No.
Or
No, Scots.
okay.
Scots Gaelic.
It's showing on Appendix C. Scottish Gaelic can mix with English and Welsh.
Okay.
Between 1100 and 1600.
Yes, I see that. I still have that window up.
Quick and easy Gaelic names.
Well, like I said, I don't know about the A apostrophe because, like it says, the article probably would not work in there. Now, let's see.
You know, that's an idea. Merciless.
Yes, I already put it in there. I'm getting this one comes up in the Index of Irish Annals, early modern Gaelic, so that puts us in the same time frame. Dub, nominative form of dub. I don't understand nominatives.
Nominative is crap. I had it. Because you have genitive and nominative. Genitive like generations. Nominative is names. I had to come up with that to figure it out at some point.
But just this alone, what I'm pasting into the bar right there, puts us that name should work fine in our time period because we got the Irish Gaelic. Irish Gaelic. Let's go back up. Did we get Irish Gaelic in there? Does that even matter? It's all Gaelic Irish.
What does she want? She doesn't specify a place.
She wants
She wants that name. Okay. That meaning.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is that the meaning it's irrelevant because it's not going to mean Lily of the Dark. It's going to mean Lily the Dark, the dark-haired, or dark, or like what did he call it? A Black Liz. You know.
Folks, I have to turn off now. Early
right.
bedtime for me tonight. Thank you so much. As always, I learned a lot. Farewell.
All right, thank you. Have a good night.
Yeah.
Night, night.
Night.
All right. Now, see, that's where you come down to. If a name doesn't mean what the submitter thinks it means, do we go ahead and try to find them the name that they wanted originally, or go forth with it and let them know, by the way, this doesn't really mean what you think it means? Or half the time, do they even really care? But as he attests that it does not mean lily, the flower, and it's, but we've got from the two things we've just mentioned, one, both of them pulled up from Morseless, we have this name documented to late English and Gaelic mix. I think we got it right there for documentation. Now, as far as meaning goes,
It's not going to happen.
Right. So so then what exactly are we using then for the documentation? Because I was listening to y'all and everything, and I wasn't really on Morseless.
Well, I don't have a copy of Black, so I can't really look at what it says about it, but I did get the medievalscotland.org, which is Mari's webpage.
Does the Penny Library have a copy of Black?
You should.
Possibly.
You did it, Arctic Crown.
Yeah, I think this is an Artsy Crown submission because I remember Lilith being discussed.
This was the same person who brought you Drost McFib.
Okay.
This must be his mother then.
All right,
More than likely.
Yeah, I'm gonna run to the Penny Library and see if I can't find Black.
Carlos.
Yes.
It doesn't really matter. We know that it's there only because it came from that book originally.
Right.
What I would do is go ahead and say use the documentation she sent, and I would go ahead. Lilith was also found here, which was the documentation summary we got from hitting the Morseless just a minute ago, where it's actually dated. You can say comment, in your in your box, you'll sit there and say that commenter said that Withcomb did not give dated examples of the name, but we were able to find it here. Boom, that takes care of the given name. And the surname was found in Black, and we also found it here. That just beefs up that documentation. And Appendix C says this, Therefore, you know that it's a combinable mix. Now,
Okay.
it was submitted as Lilith Edub, because she wanted to be Lily of the Dark. But knowing how it wouldn't mean Lily of the Dark, because that's not how Scots and Gaelic or Scots names work, that it would mean something more like Liz the Dark, haired, or Black Liz, we have changed it to this to make it registrable. Just put it down like that, and there are no conflicts, by the way, so we should be able to push on.
Okay.
Right now, it's just a matter of just tweaking your letter of intent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now, I have Dub in the chat and everything. I don't have Lilith though. So.
Oh, that's not a problem.
I was gonna say you're probably closer to it than I am.
I'm gonna type it back in again.
Because what
Lily.
hit me is a scribal abbreviation or what?
You're going to have to go in and oops, that's not what I meant to do. Copy, and paste. Okay, this. All right, that gives us Lilith, and some of these you're going to have to weed out some of this. I kind of gave you everything, but.
That's right. It gives me something to look at and to put something together.
And also, yeah, I'm sorry that it throws this all on you at the last minute, but this is pretty much these are the documentation that we have supporting the given name, and you've already got the documentation we have supporting the surname. And the rest of it's in commentary.
Right. So, all right. So we'll use what we found on Marcellus for the first and last name and piece together something from the commentary. Where did everybody go?
Victoria? Victoria.
All right, so we'll move on to
Thank you.
Number 20, we have another Gaelic name here, a Scots name.
Yes, a female by the name of Mac. Where did we go wrong here? It's hard for a female to be the son of anybody.
Right. Good news is, though, is that they allow changes.
Yes, but at this point, this is a three-element name, and
I'm going to backtrack for half a second because looking at, I don't think Lilith was Arts of Crown, but I could be wrong.
Yes, it was.
It was? Okay. Dang it.
Okay.
There's a Scots and Pictish Day, apparently. Okay, sorry. Forward.
All right. Ogres is saying that Black's Gaelic forms are often hypothetical and rather than actual medieval forms, so it is necessary to redocument the surname. Also, Gaelic bynames are literal. A woman cannot use a Mac byname in Gaelic because a woman cannot be anyone's son. If she is committed to Mac byname, she should use a Scots rendering of the name. We have
Sure was.
Cross's article relies on Latin and Irish Gaelic evidence for this.
that's mine.
Citing to the appearance of this name in the Annals of Ulster, entry for the year 913. Building this all as pre-12 Gaelic name, it should be as they have it, which is I think we can go. I think we should be able to go with that.
You're going to have to get her. I would really consult with the submitter first, because they need to know that, look, this is changing the entire meaning of the name as well, but they need to know that they can't be a McDougal.
Right.
How do you say that? Is that Dougal?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. You know how Gaelic spell all these extra letters in there?
Yeah.
So, because if you want to be a McDougal, and this is, if you notice, there's a spelling change down here in the surname. That turns it into, is it still Dougal?
Yes.
Dubgale?
No, it's still Dougal.
Okay. Because that not only changes your patronymic suggestion, but from being son of to daughter of, but it also changes the name.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that could be delineation.
Yes. Well, in that case, if they're good with that, and it should be easy to get a quick, hey, look, we have to do this, and this is why. Do you like it? Yes or no, and we can push forward. But it has to be done quickly. So in that case, and only in that case, would I recommend making a change, because that's more than just changing a letter or two. I mean, even though she allows all changes, that's one I would really feel better if she knew what she was getting.
Yeah. Right. All right. I'll comment her before I actually change the name on the letter. So.
Yeah, but like I said, otherwise, if she's really stuck with it, get in touch with Alice. Let her try to turn it into a whole Scots.
Right.
It all depends on what's most important to her. I don't want to be the one to try to make that assumption.
Right. Yeah. No. I'll get a hold of the submitter and say, hey, listen, we have a problem with your name. You can't be Mac because Mac means son of. And was you desiring a female name? That's just not possible. It's going to change the name to this. So, I mean, given the fact that it's.
If I remember, I'm having to go through my brain because this was one of the late submissions on Saturday. If I'm thinking right, she wanted Mary, and she really liked that form of the male mirror, or however you say it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of one of those, okay, I like this, and I started going after surname stuff, and I was basically waved off as that was already handled.
Right.
So that's why I didn't catch that, and, we had 2 or 3 other people over there, so.
Which is not changing. It's not changing her first name really at all. It's just really messing with the surname.
Right, and this may be that one person that did 3 names.
Yeah.
It may be her. I don't know. I don't remember.
Oh.
But I would say since I know we do have multiple issues.
Oh,
with,
good Lord!
You know who it is. Send an email on each individual name. Don't combine them into one email. Just to keep yourself straight, keep them straight.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what's going on here, because the name that she's gone by for all these years, she's found out cannot be documented whatsoever.
Right.
So, and actually, I'm surprised she didn't catch that in her mind that she couldn't use Mac. So, all right.
It's one of those things that people don't catch it and don't realize it because they're used to the post-period practices.
Well, not only that, but Alice says that it looks like that you could do it in a Holy Scot if the name was fully Scots, but not as an Irish Gaelic. So, I mean, how many people outside of the omnastics, Harold? It's not omnastics. It's how do you say that? Because I always say it wrong.
Yeah.
It's omnastics.
Yeah.
Outside of omnastic heralds, who really pays attention to that stuff?
Right.
Yeah. And I think that's why when I saw this article, I think that's why I thought we could get away with it, was because it's Scottish Gaelic given names.
I can only go by what she says.
Yeah,
I only know
and I tried.
I would defer to her because she really is the.
I took her class at Gnome World Heraldic. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And of
I was
course,
referencing her handout, so.
Yeah, I'm just going to go with this and just just say, hey, listen, we realize that with you being feminine, we can't use Mac at all. So, all right. So we'll move on to 21.
Yep.
Obiama of Phoenix Glade. Obiama, as weird as it sounds, is actually her mundane name. It is her mundane first name.
Okay. Well, that was a big thing. Is that usually you always make sure you try to notate in there that, don't just say it's mundane legal name allowance. Says that I have verified that from their whatever that this is their given name.
Right. Okay.
It helps. It stops us from asking that question because a lot of people will try to use their middle name in there, and sometimes it is or is not a given that it will work. Because once upon a time they said that if you use it, if it's your first name, you have to use it. If it's your last name, you have to use it. But you couldn't use a middle name as a first name.
Right.
So
that's case by case.
Yeah, that is her first name.
All right. And I did not find any conflicts. Go figure. So.
But you're suggesting that it actually be blazoned as a tortoise instead of a turtle?
Yeah. A natural sea tortoise. And that's actually that has been, if you actually look through all of the submissions on Oscar for turtle, somebody brings this up, and more than half of the devices once registered, they changed it to a natural sea tortoise by Bruce's commentary. So to stop him from saying anything about it, I would go ahead and
change it to natural sea tortoise.
Because a turtle is a turtle dove. And I've actually heard that more than once before, so I was familiar with it.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I went looking it up.
Yeah. Now, do we still have to have the posture?
No, I don't think so, because turtles are tertiant by default.
Okay.
Pistol.
Huh? Missile?
Pistol.
Turtle. Yeah, back me up on that one, because I think I was just stating that off of memory.
Apparently other people are using my internet. God love cable.
Oh.
Come on, Miss Holm. You can load. Thank you.
I ought to keep that up in here. I don't ever use it.
Okay.
How do you spell Mistholm?
Mistholme.
That's what I thought.
Okay, so tortoise. The tortoise is a slow-paced, armor-shelled reptile. It may also be blazoned a terrapin. It is sometimes blazoned as a turtle in the society, though the term is modern for the reptile. It referred in period to a type of dove. The Society Armory also has examples of the natural sea tortoise or turtle, which differs from the tortoise by having flippered feet.
Which it has.
Okay. It shares the same defaults as the tortoise and is considered an artistic variant only. The tortoise is tergient festwise by English default. So,
Okay.
looking at a shell, he's headed up. And
Yes.
tergient palewise by continental default. Society practice follows continental default. Tergient palewise.
Okay, so that we have continental default. It is default is tergient palewise.
Yes.
Okay, so we can lose the posture then.
With flippered feet, so it's a natural sea tortoise or turtle.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so I'll use Tony's.
Procure a natural sea tortoise argent between 3 cornucopiae or. I saw these cornucopiae as whelks at first.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a. I actually had to go look up whether or not they had to be blazoned as palewise or not, but that's actually proper so that the innards don't fall out. So,
Yeah.
So an artist note, maybe to draw them a little bigger.
I don't know if it would help. An artist note, I don't know. Just notate that somebody already made a comment that they were they didn't identify him as cornucopia at first, and also note the spelling for the plural of cornucopia.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, now that I'm looking at it, the tops definitely look like there's stuff coming out of them. I don't know. I think if they were more horn-shaped and less, weren't so blunted on the end with a little tail, it would help too.
Yeah, if they looked more like a ram's horn versus a whelk, it would help.
Just notate that the commenters made mention of it, but we'll see where it goes from there. I would fight for it, honestly. I don't see any sense in returning it over the fact that they're a little stunted.
All right, so we'll use your
Reblazing,
and we'll make a note about the cornucopias. Moving on to 22, Oda of
Austrasia.
Our wonderful princess. This is a new name, a new device. People didn't really see any problem with her name, though one person tried to say, hey, there is a conflict, but somebody came in and says that there was a removal of a tertiary, so that gives us 2.
Yeah, the device is clear. I had problems with the name because I could not verify the documentation for the surname, and the link is not working for it. So I don't know if there's a typo in there somewhere. I don't.
I'm gonna check the.
It's actually showing as purple on my end, so obviously I've gone to it.
Well, it's showing purple on my end too, but when I click on it, the link won't load. Matter of fact, I've got it. I got the pinwheel of death going on right now on that page.
Yeah, let me try paste. Because I made sure it worked before I sent it in. Paste is having issues.
Oh, I wonder if what's... No? Okay. Dot. Display.
I like how I can get PROS out, and it goes, oh, you mean this. Yes.
Yeah, that's the same as the URL on the submission form.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
So I'm guessing it's just that the site's
The site seems to be having a problem right now.
finicky.
Because Google loads quickly right now, but not anything else.
Well, I
Wiki.
don't know. Like I said, I can neither confirm nor deny that the name construction is is any good because I can't verify it. But I'll have to default to the submitting or consulting herald's word for it. I noticed that nobody openly contradicted it on the Oscar when the commentary was open, so
Yeah.
nobody else obviously had a problem. It's obvious that nobody else had a problem. So are we happy with this?
I believe so. I'm trying my own hand at it right now myself.
Yeah, I'm thinking the site may be having issues. Ping.
Right. So, all right. So we'll send her up along with a sovereign's note.
Please and thank you.
Okay.
Site's having issues. So.
All right. So move on to 23. We have Skopity Johansson. As a matter of fact, this is weird. I actually have Gary Bossi in front of me.
Same here.
Yeah, I've already
Johansson.
Yeah, I've already confirmed the name. I don't have Jerabasi, unfortunately, but I was able to go look it up through other sources, and I did confirm more documentation for Skopity being in Viking names found in the Land book. So, plus I've got Johansson and the actual formation of it and added. I put that in the little chat window as well as it's what's on my letter of commentary.
Okay.
And I'm so sorry I didn't get this done before the letter closed. It would have been nice, but at least I was able to show all the people who, who follow the internal letter Yahoo list that we still know how to do it old school.
Oh, and here I was looking at when I was looking at yours, I was actually looking at number 24, not number 23. So, okay. All right,
yeah,
so
formation looks good.
Yeah. And the side is credible, so. All right.
And they're both from the mail list, so there we go.
Yeah. So moving on to number 24. Celine. Yeah, this one.
Celine here?
I don't know. It's one of those funny names.
Right.
Now, judging by commentary and...
Proxy error. That's
what?
not good. Oh, Pace just finally... Yeah,
Oh.
Pace is having website issues. I got a proxy error, so they're having server issues.
Alright. So,
I was like, and there went Oscar. I'm back.
Slane, the genitive diem, Slaney, an old Irish name meaning health, common amongst the O'Briens. Latin Slania, found in the Irish names and surnames by Wolfe.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Wasn't Wolf one of the ones dinged earlier on as not being a reliable documentation source?
For surnames.
For surnames.
I thought that was black for the given names.
Yeah.
I'd have to go all the way back up top to look at it. I'm trying to remember.
It's also on the Heraldry SCA website, so.
But Kolbleif, this one seems to have issues with it, and therefore I didn't comment on the name because it meant going into too much outside of my comfort zone.
Mm-hmm. Was what we have here. The summary quotes the entire entry as
on Slane.
On Slane from the cited text. It offers no evidence that the name was used before 1600s. Blah, on several entries related to the events happening between 1259 and 1578. That contains the name in one form or another
And gives Slain with a accent as the expected post 1200 form.
Okay, we're gonna need another source for Slain. Wolf is recommended for surnames only.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, and if I'm remembering correctly, it's only the ones before the colon.
Alright. Now, as Coldblaze over here puts that he does find the source of the name. He finds it in medieval Scotland's, but it's a post 1200, so that means at least we know it's the later part. But it looks like there's a problem with the surname. No evidence used before 1600. And even though Wolf includes many thoroughly modern names, if it's not dated, it may as well not, very well not be remotely period.
Is this book in the Pennon Library?
Now, the fact that she's offering up, he's offering up more of medieval Scotland, Mari's articles that where she's actually gone through and indexed Wolf. So.
Yeah, and hers are easier to read.
Yeah, she's got the approximations of what the name should look like. So, and even Alice agrees with Coldblaze.
Only the italicized forms of Wolf are usable Anglicized Irish forms.
Okay.
As of the January 2014 cover letter.
And I wanted to make sure that the formatting on the website that they're pulling for Wolf followed the formatting. And at least when you pull up the surname, it's got 2 of them in italics, and then the rest of them are not. And the one that she picked is not in italics.
Okay. So you've got a couple options, but I don't know about using the O because she didn't originally have an O in there. If you want to be an I'm not even going to try to pronounce this name. I'll butcher it. So if she wants to use the changing there, she doesn't allow any major changes, but it's still that's not considered a major change, is it? Remind me, somebody. I haven't done this
let me
in a
pull
while.
that. Let me pull that. I'm close enough.
I'm going to be mistaking it is.
You think it's a major change to go to? Yeah, because you're adding the.
You're adding a name element with the O.
Right. That's right. Crap. Oh. At this point, we would need the submitter to agree to remove the no major changes and agree to the spelling change.
What is this? This is general principles. Okay. Those are armory. Okay. In names substantial and significant have previously been used somewhat interchangeably. Single substantial change or 2 smaller changes create names that are clear conflict. And those would be addition of syllable, name element. I'm not sure if preposition. I don't think preposition counts. It's that. That's going to be under name conflicts. I just need my handout here. Changes to. Okay. Yeah, I'm not. I think my brain is just not working right now.
So basically, what they're saying for the given name is that she needs to either choose one of the two that is by the link there.
Yes. This is going to be another one of those. Contact the submitter and see what she wants.
Right.
because she's gonna have to and go ahead and get the yes, change it. I allow changes.
Did you say by name? I thought I heard him say given name.
I didn't say either.
Not you, him.
Oh.
When I said him, yeah. You're not a him.
Yeah.
When he said that the one's by the link, you were talking about the surname, correct?
Yeah, I was talking about the last name, yes.
Okay. For some reason, I thought you said the given name, and I was looking all over going, what are you talking about? All right. I think I'm starting to get fatigued.
Yeah,
we're
on the last one.
We still have to do the device.
The device.
Oh, the device. No one commented on Oscar. Tony has a comment of no comments. No conflicts.
No conflicts.
No conflicts, but I also reblazoned it.
Yeah.
All right.
Quarterly
this
Azure
will need to be reblazoned as the unicorn is not over anything and is primary. Thus, it should be reblazoned quarterly Azure and Argent, a unicorn rampant or between two quill pens ghouls.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're forced to position because of color.
Yeah.
My blazing foo is strong.
Hey, see, there's elements that I know that are like da-da-da-da-da, and then there's stuff I'm like, huh?
I didn't find any conflicts with it, which is actually surprising considering how relatively simple this is. I was like, wow. Of course, getting to the end of this letter, I was getting rather fatigued then, too.
Yeah.
I'd been working on it all day. Well, all half of a day, but...
you should try putting it into Oscar.
I don't type very well at all. I'm all copy and paste kind of guy. So,
I wonder if this will be our precedence for maybe limiting the number of submissions.
Well, no, I'm going to have to tell you that I've done larger letters. It's 37 items? There's 37 items. Yes, there's 37 items on this letter and 25 entries. That is about the max that I was allowing at one point. This is not too much. The only problem is we didn't get a whole lot of response from other people.
And I bet you it's because of the size of the letter.
And we're going on 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
So this is a conversation for another time.
Yes, I would say I was just about to go there, but I would say as far as the device reblazing in advance, number 25, our very last.
Mm-hmm. This is it. No one commented on it on Oscar, but Tony gave a better for the given name.
Okay.
Now, what are you trying to say was the surname, Tony?
Oh, dang it. Did that just... Crap. That copied and pasted the entire damn thing. Or not enough of it. Hold up. I just copied and pasted it, and I just looked up, and I actually grabbed the entire friggin'...
Oh, you grabbed the entire letter.
What did this do? I just did something very weird.
Yep.
Now, Control V should just be that much. Okay.
Yeah, the surname needs corrected on documentation. They are not from the exact same article.
Right. So, but I did find it elsewhere, and therefore I put that in. And I don't have a problem with it.
Okay.
The name looks good. There's no conflicts. It's don't even get me to try to pronounce it, but
Zane.
Well, not that the last name.
Almunajima.
Yeah, that's what she said. Because in that article, in the same article as Zane, I did find something else, but it was not spelt the same, and it did not mean the same. It meant school. And I went ahead and deleted that from my commentary when I found the other name. So, yeah, there's what you need, and the device, Jeki, Pure Benzi, and Argent Herdy. I like it.
Okay.
So, looks like someone's playing checkers, but I like it.
Persian.
So, yeah, so we'll use Tony's dots, and the device is good to go. So.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
For those who stayed, thank you so much. It's a shame we couldn't do it three times in a row. The last two months, this meeting has been an hour, so this one kind of made up for it, I guess.
Well, that's because all of the artsy crown ones that technically probably should have been on the last one, I didn't have time to put on the last one.
Right.
On this one. That's why the last one only had 9 items on it. It took an hour.
Right.
Yeah, so this long letter calling, pushed back my daughter's submission till next month. It's okay. She's young still. She can wait a little while.
Yeah.
All right. Master Antonio.
Bye, YouTube.
Bye. Master Antonio, thank you for the extra work that you did in going through and doing this wonderful commentary for us.
I'm happy to help, but if you guys would, the two of you, I need you to stay over a little bit.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be private completely. If Adelaide wants to lurk, but if she wants to leave, I completely understand.
Okay, so bye-bye, YouTube.
Bye.
Oh, that part, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't want
Carlos.
to show this.
Oh, yeah. Goodbye, interweb.